What is good, defenders, and welcome. It's the night before a match, so you know what that means. It's time for one more sleep here at Defenders of the Bank. It's, of course, our every match pre-match segment that we do here on Defenders, giving you all the info and everything you need to know heading into tomorrow's big match against the first place. That's right. First place Vancouver Whitecaps. And we're not just talking about first place in the Western Conference. We're talking about the Supporters Shield leading Vancouver Whitecaps. Now, yes, we are only at the 1/3 mark of the season. Tomorrow will be 12 of 34 matches, so just past the 1/3 mark. But Vancouver has been the surprise, the feel-good story of the league so far. We'll get into their glow up they're having in 2025 in just a minute. But before we do, good evening, everybody. And more importantly, to all the moms and mother figures out there, happy Mother's Day. Tomorrow is Sunday, Mother's Day. For all of you making the trip up to the Pacific Northwest in Vancouver, travel safely. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there who's either a mother or a mother figure. Obviously, my mom in my life has been amazing. We also have Philly's mom, who's been wonderful. I'm sure Mrs. Lafferty is wonderful as well. I've just never met Mrs. Lafferty. So there you go. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there who will be celebrating Mother's Day tomorrow. All right. Well, I know we have Club America and Pachuca at halftime, according to Mikey. Kai Kamara, of course, signing with FC Cincinnati, breaking our hearts, but understandably so here. Absolutely rough to see Kai Kamara sign with FC Cincinnati, but let's keep it on Vancouver and LAFC. Of course, we head into the match. This is match day number 12 in the Major League Soccer regular season, and this ends the 5-match streak where we had at least 6 days in between each of the matches. We have had a lot of rest. We've had a lot of time to be able to put some things together. So a good period for LAFC. And oh, by the way, in that stretch, we haven't lost a match. Yes, I know. A couple of them felt very, very shaky, but LAFC is coming into this match riding a 4-match unbeaten streak, 2-0-2, including a 2-0 win in our last match that felt even better than that, dare I say. Despite a 2-2 draw feeling worse and a 3-3 draw feeling like a win, it's been all over the place, up and down for LAFC in this 5-match streak, which will culminate tomorrow against Vancouver. We are 5-4-2, 17 points to go with our 17 goals. And 16 allowed on the season. So we are back in the plus-minus category. 6th place in the West, but a win will put LAFC just 2 points from 2nd place. So a win would be huge for LAFC in this one in terms of the standings. Vancouver, in their 11 matches, they have lost 1. 1 match lost in 11, and it was a surprising 3-1 loss at home at Vancouver to the Chicago Fire, who have been just okay this season. 8-1-2 are the Whitecaps. They're 26 points, best in Major League Soccer, 22 goals. Here's the big number that's a little scary. Only 8 goals allowed. 8 goals allowed. Fluffhead. Oh, that's fantastic. I got to put that up. Now I'm going to say it and think of you every single time, Fluffhead. 8 goals allowed in Major League Soccer. The plus 14 is fantastic, but the only club in Major League Soccer with single-digit goals allowed. God, that made me laugh, you guys. You're the best. I love our chat so much. And again, however you're accessing Defenders of the Bank content, you know we love you guys so much. Whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, any of the podcast platforms, you guys, thank you so much for being part of the magic that is Defenders of the Bank. This matchup against Vancouver will be number 24 all time. 24, a very significant number on this podcast because it will tie the most versus any club. We have played Carson and Seattle 24 times each as well. So Vancouver lining up for time number 24. We have won 12 of those matches, 12, 7, and 4. But in the 10 matches, 10 matches that we have played at BC Place, we are 4, 5, and 1. So we're looking to even things up on the road at BC Place. Of course, we lost our last match there 3-0, and it was in last year's MLS Cup playoffs. Let's not forget that was 2 goals scored by us for the other guys. Ryan Hollingshead and Eddie Segura both putting in Ryan Gauld passes into the back of our own net. Ryan did score the first goal for Vancouver. So a goal and 2 assists, if you will, for Ryan Gauld in the 3-0 win for Vancouver last year. But look, in the 4 matches before that in Vancouver, LAFC was 3-0-1. So a lot of recent success, just not in the most recent match that we have played against them there. But look, last year to this year, they've pretty much got the same roster. Yes, Tristan Blackman has taken a huge leap forward on that back line. Sebastian Berhalter has been a big reason why they have been so good, but Ryan Gauld's been hurt. Brian White has been excellent. Pedro Vite playing really well. But what's the big change from Vancouver? Unfortunately, it meant that we no longer got to see Vanni Sartini on the sidelines. Jesper Sorensen is the name that you need to know. He has been in charge of the Vancouver Whitecaps for 19 matches. And in those 19 matches, Vancouver has only lost 2. 19 matches, 8 of them in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And oh, by the way, how about Jesper Sorensen losing his first ever match as coach? That's right, 2-1 against Saprissa, but they came back to beat Saprissa in that second leg 2-0 to advance in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which has led them all the way to the final against Cruz Azul. It is going to be the biggest match in Vancouver Whitecaps history against Matty Bogusz and Omar Campos of Cruz Azul. They beat Saprissa, they beat Monterrey, they beat Pumas, they beat Miami to get to that final. If not for that home defeat in the beginning, we're talking about in 18 matches, he's only lost that 1 match to the Fire that we talked about. So Jesper Sorensen, the former man in charge of Brøndby, that's right, the Danish Superliga team, Brøndby, he comes over from the Brøndby system over to Vancouver and has been excellent. And I'm sorry, Fluffhead, for that one. The big news, though, in this one coming in is that no Ryan Gauld again for Vancouver. Ryan Gauld will be out with a knee injury. They are missing a couple of other role players, but the big name, of course, is Ryan Gauld. With no Ryan Gauld out there, Brian White's going to have to do it all on his own with some help from his friends. We'll see. For LAFC, by the way, no Maxime Chanot, still dealing with the concussion issues. It has lingered and lingered and lingered. I don't know how that's going with Maxime Chanot. The other name that's on the injury report, questionable, is Odin Thiago Holm. Odin Holm questionable with this one again. But let's talk about who's not on the injury report. For the first time in a long time, we may see Lorenzo Della Valle in the 18. It hasn't happened often. It hasn't happened much. But we may see Lorenzo Della Valle in the 18. Now, I don't know if he's going to get any minutes at center back. In fact, if not for Maxime Chanot's injury, we're talking about the most crowded position on the pitch. I'm still lobbying for Nkosi Tafari to get more minutes. Aaron Long will hopefully be good. Eddie Segura, obviously, Marlon, and Nkosi Tafari. That is a formidable lineup to crack. I don't know what to expect from Lorenzo Della Valle. I know that Giorgio Chiellini himself was very high on Lorenzo Della Valle, but I don't know that that's going to be enough to push him into the lineup for minutes. But look, I'm not out there at training every day. We'll have to ask Steve. We'll have to ask Ante. We'll have to ask any of our defensive coaches what's going on with Lorenzo Della Valle. But I personally would love to see more Nkosi Tafari. Let's get back to Vancouver for just a minute. Vancouver has had 13 different goal scorers in 2025, including 8 players with 2 goals or more. And again, remember, this is not their 12th match of the season. They will have now played 20 matches on the season after they play LAFC, 8 matches in CONCACAF Champions Cup, and the 12 in the MLS regular season. Brian White has 11 goals on the season in all competitions. Brian White is rolling. 11 goals in their first 19 matches of the season. I believe he's played in 17 of those matches, and he has really helped fill the offensive gap left by Ryan Gauld. But how about the former Toronto FC man, Jayden Nelson, up top? 6 assists on the season. Tristan Blackman, I don't know what an Edgar haircut is, but I appreciate you being in the chat. Jayden Nelson with 6 assists on the season. Ali Ahmed, even though he hasn't scored this season, he is setting his boys up with 5 assists on the season. So you got to watch out for those 2 players with the ball at their feet as they're moving into offensive space. Jayden Nelson with 6, Ali Ahmed with 5 on the assists. The step forward taken by 2 players that has been massive for them is Pedro Vite with 4 goals and 3 assists, and Sebastian Berhalter, yes, baby Berhalter, doing some things for Vancouver, 4 goals and 4 assists. So Vite and Berhalter combining for 8 goals and 7 assists this early in the season. I think you'll take that if you are Jesper Sorensen. They've got 9 players who have already played 1,000 minutes on the year and 2 more that are edging that 1,000-minute mark. So we're seeing a lot of guys get a lot of minutes, some heavy rotation if they're already almost at 11 different players on 1,000 minutes. A player who I really wasn't frankly impressed with over his first season, maybe and a half, with Vancouver has stepped up and shut me up for sure this season, and that is the man in goal, Yohei Takaoka. The Japanese keeper has looked excellent in 2025. 17 matches, 14 goals allowed, including 7 clean sheets. 5 clean sheets in Major League Soccer, 2 more clean sheets in CONCACAF Champions Cup. Yohei Takaoka, only giving up 14 goals in his 17 matches, has been excellent. We already know what's going on with LAFC. The real big question is, will we see Lorenzo Della Valle, and will we see Vancouver's double agent on LAFC? That's right. We're talking about Ryan Raposo. Ryan Raposo has not even made the 18 since we signed him off of a free agent deal, let alone cracked the lineup for minutes. But the long-time Vancouver Whitecap has to be hoping he sees the pitch at a place that he knows so well, like BC Place. I don't know that we'll see Ryan Raposo. I don't know that we'll see Lorenzo Della Valle, but at least it's 2 intriguing things to talk about before the match. Will we see them? Will they make their debut? That being said, real quick, guys, I was having a slight issue with the slides for this one. So I have to remake the file, unfortunately. Had a slight issue with the slides. So we're going to go with no slides here, if that's okay. But I'm still going to discuss my players to watch, keys to the match, and of course, score prediction. So stay with me here. You're not going to see the slides. You're not going to see a transition. And that's, I got to remake the slides because I don't know what happened with them. But either way, let's talk about the 2 players to watch in this one. First, for Vancouver, I'm going with, to me, Reason 1A, that Vancouver has the best defense in Major League Soccer. I talked about Yohei Takaoka and how good he has been with 7 clean sheets, only 14 goals allowed. But Tristan Blackman is starting to get some conversation going about if he should be in the running for Defender of the Year. We know Tristan Blackman very well. We picked him number 3 overall, 2 picks behind Joao Moutinho in our maiden voyage of 2018. In that 2018 MLS Super Draft, New York Red Bulls also drafted Brian White, who we'll be seeing prominently feature in this one. It's also the Super Draft that gave us former LAFC players Mark Segbers, Corey Baird, and Ricky Lopez-Espin. That's right. Going deep dive with Segbers and Lopez-Espin there. But either way, number 3 overall for Tristan Blackman. He has, Genuine Cougar mentions it as well, probably one of the best long throw-ins in all of Major League Soccer. 3 goals on the season, including a match winner for Tristan Blackman this year. He has played in 17 of the 19 matches. And Tristan Blackman is a player that I know so many people who follow and support and love the black and gold. So many people still rooting for Tristan Blackman. I got to be honest, I hope for 90 minutes he stubs his toe, he twists his ankle, he hurts his shoulder, and he gets something in his eyeball. But before and after the match, I have no problem saying that that is one player that I keep tabs on every single week to see how they are growing, thriving, and surviving in Major League Soccer. Tristan Blackman will always be a fan favorite of mine. For LAFC, it's very, very simple. We need more and better from David Martinez. He felt really disconnected last match, really didn't participate in the flow of the offense. Look, we know Denis is going to try to get his. He's averaging like 9 shots a match over our last several matches. I just think that 3 goals and 1 assist in almost 800 minutes for a player the caliber and talent level of David Martinez, I just don't think that's enough. I think we need to see a moment or two of brilliance, but also a moment or two of stability for David Martinez. He did a wonderful job of dragging that ball back inside last match to help create opportunities, and he's starting to look like he's playing a little more with his head up as he's looking to attack, as we saw Kike Oliveira do towards the end of last season. We're starting to see David Martinez do that more, which is fantastic. But I just think that we need a little bit more from David Martinez. I don't think he's earned himself a spot on the bench just yet. And I'll tell you why. I think it's because, look, Cengiz Ünder's contract is up at the end of June. And so I think we are going to see more and more of David Martinez as that July transfer window approaches. But I think that we need to see more from him. To me, again, 3 goals and an assist, just simply not enough. My keys to the match are simple. Number 1 is try and start fast. And I know that's like a no-duh kind of a thing, but LAFC hasn't started fast very often this season. In fact, last match we scored inside the first 15 minutes, and it was one of the first times we had done that in quite a while. LAFC getting one early really does put the onus and the pressure on the home side tomorrow, Vancouver, and it might force them to get out of their style just a little bit more. Although I think Vancouver probably thinks they're good enough this season to play their style no matter what. It's going to be interesting. But I have to say, I think that if we can get one early, then I think we will be okay in this one. By getting one early, we get them off of their game, and we are good to go. And oh, by the way, there you go. If we can get one early from David Martinez, then we're talking about a player who feels extremely connected over the course of the first half. And maybe that's something that we need from David Martinez so that he can get going. My second key to the match is to weather the storm. Yeah, I know it's going to be 57 degrees and rainy in Vancouver, but obviously not on that terrible carpet there at BC Place. What I mean by weather the storm is there is inevitably going to be moments, whether it's 5-minute increments, 7-minute increments, 8-minute increments, where LAFC finds themselves playing on the back heel a little bit more than they would like. Vancouver is going to be a challenge for us in this one. And it's about weathering the storm in those moments, bending but not breaking. And if we can continue to play the stalwart defense that we started out the season playing and get one of those breaks to go our way rather than into the back of the net, I really do believe that we can hold them off. Now, what do I think about the scoreline for this match? I think it's going to be, and I'm erring on the optimistic side of this one, a 2-2 draw. I think LAFC is in the fight of their lives against an incredible Vancouver team this year, a team that has only lost twice across 19 matches, and a team that knows how to play calm and collected this season. Jesper Sorensen has them playing very, very compact defense and really snuffing out a lot of opportunities. But like I mentioned, if David Martinez can put one in the back of the net, and oh, by the way, Denis Bouanga gets one of those chances to fall. We have seen Denis Bouanga snake bit time and time again over the last couple of matches. We have made some keepers look very, very good. But that being the case, I think Denis does get one. I think that David Martinez does get one. And I think we get that early goal, but I think Vancouver battles back to a 2-2 draw. Brian White with 11 goals on the season. Sebastian Berhalter is going to annoy the heck out of Philly by doing something in this one. And I wouldn't put past Tristan Blackman for getting involved in one of the two goals that I think Vancouver will score, whether it's on a long throw-in, whether it's on a ball in the box. He is an aerial threat at times. I think this is going to be a fun one. It is the only match left in the Western Conference. I did double check my phone over the last hour or two. The Galaxy have not given up another goal. The differential has stayed 7-0 for a while now. So I think the Red Bulls are done scoring today on the Galaxy. Just 7-0. But I think it's going to go a lot better for the boys at LAFC. I think it's going to be 2-2. I think it's going to be an extremely entertaining, fun match. It's going to feel a lot more like the Portland match, even though I think we should have played so much better against Portland. It's going to feel a lot more like the Portland match and a lot less like the St. Louis match. So that being said, I think that is going to be 2-2. You know my score prediction. I see some of you guys in the chat already. Fluffhead's got 3-1. Not a bad score line. And I think this is going to be a fun one, y'all. So wherever you're watching it, if you're hanging out with mom or if you're at one of the official watch parties, whatever it is, you guys, be safe. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Love you guys. And we'll see you guys after. I'm actually headed to Atlanta for the next week or so. I'm taking a group of 37th graders on an amazing civil rights field trip. We're going to Atlanta. We're going to Montgomery, Alabama, and Selma. It is an incredible experience. I'll tell you all about it when I get back. But you're going to see some Philly this week, which is incredible, and Chris Lafferty as well. But Philly is supposed to be back this week for the recap of this match, and then, of course, for the match in the middle of the week. So love you guys. I'll see you guys in about a week. And you know how I like to end each and every one of these things. Bye-bye.